the European Union is moving swiftly to finalize what may become its most controversial decision since the Ukraine war began, using frozen Russian assets to bankroll Kyiv's survival. According to Bloomberg, Brussels wants to reach a political agreement as early as next week on a $140 billion reparations loan backed by Russia's seized wealth. The money, officials say, would only be repaid if Russia agrees to pay reparations, effectively turning the EU into a creditor against Moscow's future. The urgency is clear. With President Donald Trump's administration cutting off US weapons funding for Kyiv, Europe is now left holding the bill militarily, politically, and financially. Many EU nations, already battling economic crises at home, fear that Ukraine's financial black hole could soon drag them into deeper debt. Zelensky, too, has admitted that some NATO allies are delaying payments under the joint procurement plan for US weapons. Moscow has responded with fury, accusing Europe of outright theft. Russia's ambassador to Belgium, Denis Gonchar, warned that if Brussels proceeds, the EU would face severe consequences.
Any attempt to confiscate or use sovereign assets will be perceived as theft, an illegal act that runs counter to existing international law. The response will be proportionate. I can assure you that if the EU decides to implement this plan, their talk of solidarity will quickly be replaced by counting of losses.
Russian diplomats described the EU's proposal as an act of financial aggression, warning of retaliatory steps, including the nationalization of Western firms inside Russia. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov has echoed the same, saying the EU's intentions amount to plans to illegally confiscate Russian property. In Russian, we call it theft. Moscow believes the move will further erode Europe's moral standing and expose deep divisions within the bloc. Hungary's Prime Minister, Viktor Orban, has once again emerged as the loudest voice of dissent inside the EU. Speaking in Copenhagen, he slammed the entire plan as immoral and reckless, insisting Hungary will never participate in seizing another nation's funds.
And he explained that Belgium needs a mutualization of the responsibility. No way. We are not part of that deal. We will never touch upon of money of somebody else. Therefore, if the European Union decides to touch upon and take away the money of somebody else, we will be not part of that move, definitely. So we don't have any responsibility in the future for that move.
Orban is not alone. Austria and Slovakia have already stalled the next sanctions package against Russia, while Belgium, home to over $194 billion in frozen Russian funds, is hesitant to move without shared responsibility guarantees. That means any EU deal on reparations loans could face months of legal and political paralysis, even as Ukraine's economy teeters on collapse.